Welcome to another exciting episode of Confessions with Maria. We are at Nyamamama in Westlands, a modern and aesthetically pleasing restaurant in Westlands. They have a nice twist in their foods, Kenyan twisty food. So it's very fresh, very amazing, very delicious. You can bring your family, bring your friends, bring whoever. They have ensured that all the standard measures of COVID have been put in place. So you can feel safe to bring the people that you love here. Have you ever gone through something in your life that really made you feel vulnerable or made you feel really bad? And at that time, you just needed someone to be there. Could be your friend, someone you love, or just basically anyone. You wanted someone who could just tell you everything was gonna be fine. But due to our Africanicity, we find it very hard to be vulnerable with those that we love, and generally just vulnerable. And this has led to a lot of people turning to so many vices: drug addiction, depression, even suicidal thoughts. And to inform our conversation today, we have Charles Gateru, who has gone through so many things in his life, but somehow managed to pick himself up. And right now, he's here to tell everyone that you can get out of a funk, you can get through depression. You just need to be bold enough to talk to somebody. We need to normalize the conversations of being open and vulnerable to ourselves and to everyone around us. Hi Charles.
Hi, how are you?
I'm very well, thank you.
Yes.
Nowadays we hatukubaliki kusalimiana kwa mikono.
Yes, COVID.
Yeah.
Yes.
Welcome to Confessions.
Thank you for having me.
You're very welcome.
Yes.
So Charles, you've gone through a lot in your life,
Yes,
yeah?
yes.
But before we even get to that, can you tell us about yourself?
My name is Charles Gateru Mumbi. I'm the CEO and founder of Ventcare Kenya. And we talk about mental health there.
Or what is Ventcare?
So Ventcare is an organization where we created a digital platform for people to be able to actually get therapy online.
Yeah.
Because there is a stigma associated with going to see a therapist. Number two, accessibility of therapy in Kenya has not been emphasized a lot. So we wanted to do something about it.
Right.
So Ventcare is a place you can just go and click a button and speak to a counselor via chat, or you can actually even video call them. So it's actually very easy. You can do it at the comfort of your homes.
Oh, amazing.
Yes.
Did you always want to have such kind of a thing happening, like such kind of a company, organization, or did something drive you to actually having or forming that?
Actually, I actually never thought of mental health because most of the times we don't think about anything bad happening to us. Even a lot of us think depression is there and you're here. You know, it's like it can't touch you. It's just like COVID. You can't see it. It's there. But to be honest, I didn't have an idea that I would start this until now my story, until now I was in deep depression. And after I came out of it, I decided to do something about it.
Okay, so what led to your depression? Is
So-
it something that you're born with depression, or is it something that you sometimes pick along the way because of different experiences or traumas?
Depression is not something you're born with. Depression is something that comes based on your life experiences. It can be a lot of things that can cause depression. It can be trauma, abuse, grief, or anything that makes you feel stressed for a long period of time can get you into depression. So why I got into depression in the first place is 2 years ago I got some news. I was in work. I was working in Nairobi, and my mom called me and she told me she's not feeling well.
Right.
So I should rush to Thika and take her to hospital. And when I went, same day, we got a diagnosis that she had cancer, liver cancer. And after a series of tests, it was confirmed that it was the last stage of stage 4 liver cancer. And it was a year of being in hospital, and the trauma of seeing her sick every day for a year until the day she passed on. And then the grief of her leaving led me into, unknowingly, I didn't know that I was depressed. People thought I was strong, but at some point I caved into that depression, and I was depressed severely, and I didn't know who to talk to, because most of the times you find that family are going through the same thing you're going through.
Right.
So they might not see, your situation. They are going through the same thing.
As any more special than their own situation.
Yes.
Did the depression start immediately you found out that your mom, when she was diagnosed, or did it come at the final stages?
Depression is not instant. It's progressive. Things wear you down. As long as you're not sharing, or as long as you're not doing something about depression, or things that are really, really stressing you out, depression will come, and it's progressive, because you remember there is a trauma of seeing your mom sick and wearing out from day one. Today she's even weaker. Tomorrow she's not speaking. The other day she can't even. You don't even think she's breathing at some point. Then now, so there's this trauma of a loved one being sick that depresses everyone, and now something else comes. When now she leaves. She goes, she passes on, and then there's grief and the stages of it. And it was something that weighed me down. I actually thought I was okay.
Yeah.
I cried, everything. I did what most people do. But the thing I did not do is talk about it. Because I felt it was very difficult for me to talk about it or have a conversation with someone about it.
If I take you back to your siblings, do you have a big age bracket? And the point where you talk about depression as well, would you say that you got into depression because your mom fell sick, or did you get into depression because you thought, there's all these responsibilities that are over your shoulder, your siblings, all these things that you need to take care of? Can you identify any one thing that you may say led to that depression? Mostly
is the feeling of being alone. You see now, this is the parent you've known, your whole life. This is the person who calls you. It's your mother, it's and you don't have a dad. So it was a period of, when depression really hit me when I came back to Nairobi, and the reason it really hits is nobody used to call me daily anymore. Nobody used to care like my mom used to care. Family is there and they love you, but not to the extent that your mother would love you, or you would really be in your life, directly wanting to be engaged in your life and also advising you. And so that emptiness, that feeling of loneliness, that you are alone in this world. And the fact that also that you in your mind you have a responsibility to others now, people that have been raised with. And I'm coming back to Nairobi, I'm jobless. I'm looking for a job. All those things come in, and then there's grief, there's pain, and you don't have anyone to talk to. So that cooks up, and it makes you, makes you want suicidal, which I was suicidal for a very long time. And nobody knew. Actually, even my close friends didn't know. Because after everything, after the barrier, people think you are moving on with your life. But that is not the case.
Seeing a situation where, sometimes when you're grieving, you feel like you're in it alone. Yes. And sometimes friends or family don't really know how to reach out to people. For example, if someone dies, it's very hard to really know what the right words to say or the right questions to ask. Yeah. Do you think it's part of the other person's, the person who's been aggrieved, to actually vocalize that, to make the other people understand their need, how they want someone to be there for them then?
Yes, but at this particular point, nothing makes sense to you. So it is very hard mostly for someone who is going through this to actually even reach out themselves, to even shout that they need help or they need someone to talk to. Because you're trying to make sense into what is happening. So it is quite challenging, and I think that is what causes many people to actually go into stress and go into the extreme stages of grief. Yes.
Wow. Yeah. That must have really been a hard time for you.
Yes, it was, and actually the worst came after. After depression, there was now a second phase of life where every energy in you, what you're feeling, every cell in your body is telling you now, it's telling you to give up. It's shouting. So and many people don't even know they're depressed. And actually, so I got to know I was depressed because after I went through therapy. Because you see now, the minute you wake up, you don't want to go to work, or you don't want to do anything. You don't want to even draw your curtains. You just want to be in bed. You don't want to talk to anyone. You don't enjoy things that you used to enjoy before. You're not happy. You're moody every time. Now those are the signs that you're actually depressed. So I was at that particular point. I got into that space where I was not social anymore. I'm a social being. I'm an extrovert. I'm out there. But that changed, and I just wanted to be myself. I indulged in alcohol, and every cell in my body at a particular point wanted to die. Told me to give up. You know, I'm alone. I have bills, and nothing else made sense. That, you know, it's too much for me. I need to go. So one day I just wake up and I'm walking on the road, and I just jumped in front of a moving motorcycle, and that is the day. And unfortunately, then I didn't die, and I dislocated my hip bone. And
you jumped in front of a motorcycle.
Yes. Yeah.
Was it premeditated? When you left the house that day, did you say to yourself, "I'm gonna kill myself today"?
I had suicidal thoughts, but I was not very sure I would go through with them.
Right.
So when I got out of the house that day, I was just walking on the road, and everything just weighed on me, and I decided, you know what, I need to just end this. So I just jumped, and
Did you think about your siblings?
You see,
who are they going to be left with?
Yes, at that particular point, nothing makes sense. And sometimes people think people who kill themselves or try to harm themselves are selfish. I would want to encourage people not to think that, because at that particular point, it's not me. It's mostly it's the chemical formation in your body, in your brain, that, you know, it's just, you know, giving you bad energy. You know, hormones, bad hormones. You know, negative. You know, you just feel that nothing else makes sense at that particular point. You just want to go.
But depression is not, it's like you're not in control of your own emotions, right?
Yes.
So when you say someone is selfish, at that point you're being selfish. Is it really being selfish, or is it because you cannot really be able to control your emotions?
I say it's, you know, my whole life I never thought I would actually even try to kill myself for any reason, actually. But when I got there, I realized it's actually easy to kill yourself. There are things that can come into your life and push you to the extreme edge, and you don't know how to get out. And you feel surrounded by this, you know, heavy stone. You're trying to lift off you, but it's not working. So it pushes you to the brink of losing hope. And when hope is gone, you are gone. You can do anything to yourself. And you've seen of late how people are killing themselves. It's not that they want to kill themselves. It's just that things at that particular point that they're killing themselves, they feel hopeless, that there's nothing else they can do. Yeah.
All right, Charles, thank you so much. We'll go on a short break right now, and when we come back, Charles will tell us more about how this story unfolded and how he got his healing. Welcome back. If you're just joining us, this is Confessions with Maria. We are talking to Charles Gateru, who is a survivor of depression and an advocate of people discussing the issues that they're going through so that they can overcome them. So Charles, you were telling us you jumped in front of a motorcycle.
Yes.
Would you say that was a point where tell us, after you jumped in front of the motorcycle, to what extent were the injuries that you got?
I got a misplaced hip bone. I had a few scratches on my back and my legs and my hands. Luckily, nothing touched my head, my face. And some well-wishers took me to hospital at Mama Lucy. And I was okay. For a period, I was okay. And one of my cousins came for me, and he took care of me at home. The best friend of mine called Peter. Right. So they used to, take care of me until I was okay.
Okay. Once you got into this accident and when you recovered, is that the time when you realized that you needed help, or you took longer to actually ask for help?
Nothing changed. Mostly, my mental state was the same. And my suicidal thoughts did not go away because I tried to kill myself again.
Yes. You tried a second time?
Yes, I tried a second attempt. So one day I wake up and I went for this interview at Long Thika Road.
Right.
And I think it's a 7-story building. And after the interview, I went to the toilet, and they have these very big windows.
Wait, Charles, before you even continue with that story, the first time when you tried to commit suicide, your friends and family came to help you recover.
Yes.
Did they ask questions?
No, they thought it was actually an accident.
Oh, so you didn't tell them that you actually...
I didn't tell them. At this point, I was not in the space where I could share what I'm going through, or even the shame of telling people that you've actually tried to kill yourself. It's not something easy you can just tell people that you've tried to do.
Yeah.
Because people judge you.
Right.
And at that particular point, nobody knew what was happening. So people thought some accident happened. They were glad I'm fine. They called to check up on me. And the story ended there.
So now you are on the 7th floor?
Yes.
Going for an interview?
Yes. And I went to this washroom, and there are these big windows, and I stepped out of the window on the 5th floor, and I wanted to jump. And
5th floor?
Yes. And I think that is the day I realized I am extremely on the edge. And the reason why I'm actually sitting here today talking to you is a Facebook video I watched of a guy who wanted to kill himself, and he actually jumped at the San Francisco River in California. And he narrates how after jumping the bridge, that he realized that he wanted to live more than he wanted to die. And he prayed to God, for those 6 seconds you take to hit the water, don't kill me, I want to survive, I want another shot at life. And before I jumped at that particular point on the 5th floor, sorry, I remembered that video, and I realized, and everything now that matters to me in my life came into my mind. My family, my brothers, my friends, my relatives, and what I actually could lose if I'd kill myself. And that is when my life started again. And I decided not to kill myself that day.
So when you realized that you wanted to live more than you wanted to die, then what did you do about it?
So I got back into the washroom. I went home, and I called my best friend of mine. He lives in the States. It's called here. And I told him what happened that day. I told him today I tried to kill myself. And he was like, he was shocked, but he got me help. And he got me someone to talk to. And I did therapy for a period. And I Therapy helped me to now get from the out of the edge to a place where I can actually even talk about what is happening to me. I can actually open up and share. Yes.
All right, so the journey towards your wanting to commit suicide and to your discovering that you needed to live more than you wanted to die started at a point of loss. Yes. And you said the reason why you felt these feelings is because you felt alone. You know, you felt like you needed to face the world alone. That's a feeling, right?
Yes.
It is a feeling. It's
yes.
not a fact.
Yes, it's not a fact, it's a feeling, because at the end of the day, you're not alone. The fact is that there are people around you who can actually help you. And I realized that we should give people credit. People can help you only if they also know that you're also going through stuff. It's also good to have even one person in your life. One person, doesn't have to be many people. One person who does not judge you. One person who is open to listening to you, irrespective of how small an issue might be. One person who is ready to, you can actually unwind with, you just tell them what you're going through, and just one person to share to. Because a lot of people are going through hardships. Today, in these days, mostly even right now that there's COVID, and people don't know who to share with, or who to tell. So it's all about sharing how you're feeling. Yes.
Do you think that growing up in our culture, we are not allowed to express our emotions? For example, I have brothers, and growing up I've had, not only my brothers but many boys out there, they're told, usilie, vijana hawafai kulia, mwanaume hafai kulia.
Yes.
Do you think that contributes to those feelings where, mainly men don't feel comfortable sharing their fears, insecurities, and burdens?
Yes, and then it's a misconception that we've been told for a very long time, because if that's why even people assume just because you're a man, you are supposed to be okay. Just the fact that you're a man, even in our own cultures as Africans and as Kenyans, there are even sayings, wise sayings. They say that you are supposed to be a hard person, this who takes on the world. But until something really traumatizing and something that gives you trauma in your life happens to you, you realize that you're not as strong as you thought. Because how people know me, they thought I was okay, I'm going to be fine. Charles. People who actually today know that I went through depression and I tried to kill myself, never thought I could actually even go to that point in my life. And I think we should stop, this assumption that just because you're a man, you're supposed to be a hardcore person, or, men should be vulnerable too. They should share what they're feeling, their emotions. They are emotional beings. Everybody, women are emotional beings. So let us not pretend that sometimes even us men, that emotions don't really weigh on us. Yes.
And in light of the COVID crisis that is going on, so many things are happening. Jobs have been lost, families have been broken. People are going through so much emotional trauma. And what would you advise someone who's going through a tough time right now?
The first step to any hardship that one may be going through is to share. Irrespective of how hard the situation might be, just tell someone, Mimi, I lost my job. I broke up with my wife or boyfriend or something. Anything bad that is happening to you, first share, because emotionally it does not weigh down on you as much. Number two is, even in sharing, people now see your life from an outside angle. They can be able to offer solutions, either by you can discuss solutions. What can we do about this hardship that you're actually going through? But if you don't share, nobody will know you're going through stuff. Nobody will give you suggestions. Nobody will know you're going through stuff.
Right.
Share. Another thing I would advise people, for those people who can afford it, it's very important for each and every person. It is normal, it is important to have a therapist. Irrespective, therapy is not for people who are depressed. And I think that is the assumption that people have in Kenya, that I only go to a therapist when I need, when I feel that I'm in depression. People should normalize having someone to talk to, someone who is a professional. So it's something we're advocating for also as Ventcare, for people to have personal therapists. Like you have a personal lawyer, a personal doctor, you should have a therapist where you had a bad day at work, you can call them. One, basically, why people don't share also is the fact that people go and spread your, stuff. And there is the shame in, if I'm going through stuff, I feel shameful to actually be even in that particular position. So this professional that I am advocating for you to have is someone who is bound by law to not share anything that you tell them. Yes.
Can you tell us about Ventcare?
So as a result, after therapy, and after my own experience and the hardship I also went through getting a therapist in the first place, I decided to do something about it. And I one day just woke up and I decided I'm going to make an online platform where people can actually talk about, can share to a professional, which is very confidential. So we created www.ventcare.org. It's an organization and it's a website where you can actually go and press a button and either chat a counselor or you can actually even video call one. Yes. So, and even in the video call, you can even hide your identity. You can switch off your camera. You can actually share and tell them whatever you're feeling. They'll be able to direct you further. They also ask you questions so that they can understand, mostly what is going on in your life. Yes.
Is there a cost for that?
Yes. So what we do is we also list counselors, private practitioners who have counseling centers, and even individual counselors can even today also go and register on the website to offer help. So yes, because they are private entities, they are not funded by anyone. They will charge you for their services because it's what they do for a living. But if by any chance you even go to the website and call us and you are not in a position to even pay, there are those organizations that offer counseling for free that we are going to actually recommend you to.
All right.
Yes.
All right. Thank you so much, Charles, for coming today
Thank you
and
very
for
much.
the insights that you've given us.
Yes.
Your story is really healing to so many people.
Yes.
And thank you for normalizing the conversations that we need to be having for us to heal.
Thank you very much for having me.
No problem. Thank you so much for tuning in to Confessions with Maria. We've just seen that we can heal from so much trauma in our lives. We just need to be open enough and vulnerable enough to share these wounds so that we can get to a better place and get the healing that we need. Stay tuned to more conversations on Conversations with Maria. Follow us on our social media platforms. And if you have a story that you feel that the world needs to hear and for us to grow in certain ways, maybe as individuals, as a country, as a world, then don't hesitate to follow us and message us so that we can reach out to you.